the deep state, the controlling factor, the people, who try to control the government from behind closed doors, and they're calling on all hands on deck here. Hey, what is going on? Thanks for coming back to this channel. So, here we go again. The Democrats are losing their mind. Why, you say? Well, 4 indictments didn't stop Trump. Now, they've gone to the courts to try to get him dismissed from being on the ballots. And, well, federal judges say, no, that's not how this works. So, yeah, let's check this one out.
All right, folks, so here's the headline from the Gateway Pundit. Federal judge dismisses case trying to keep Trump off the 2024 ballot. A federal judge on Friday dismissed a lawsuit filed by a Florida lawyer who claimed Trump should be banned from the 2024 ballot for inciting an insurrection. The legal theory is based on Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution's 14th Amendment, which states public officials who have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the U.S. must be disqualified from holding public office. Trump has not been charged with engaging in insurrection or rebellion against the United States. Judge Robin Rosenberg.
Okay. So, Trump was not charged with what they said. So why try? Oh, that's right. These are like last resort, end of the rope, ditch efforts because everything else has failed. Everything they do just blows up in their face. Maybe there's writing on the wall here. Maybe the Democrats need to understand that we're tired. We're tired of the nonsense. And the more you go after a person, the more it lets us all know that that person, he has something that scares you, poses a threat. And what threat does he pose? Well, he poses a threat to their way of life, their socialist agenda. He poses a threat to that deep state, and they don't like it, and they're trying everything in their power to, I don't know, destroy it. So here's the thing. In my opinion, the more they do this, the more they keep going after him, well, they're going to destroy themselves. But let's keep going.
A U.S. district judge for the Southern District of Florida, ruled the attorney Lawrence Kaplan lacks standing to bring the suit. Plaintiffs' lack of standing to challenge defendants' qualifications for seeking the presidency, Rosenberg, an Obama appointee, wrote, adding that the injuries alleged from the insurrection on Capitol Hill more than 2 years ago are not cognizable and not particular to them. And of course, I'm sure we need a dictionary here whenever reading legalese. Cognizable is classified as perceptible, clearly identifiable, or within the jurisdiction of a court is the legal definition. Essentially, these little clown lawyers apparently have no standing to challenge Donald Trump's qualifications, or I guess eligibility, to seek the presidency. The judge also stated an individual citizen does not have standing to challenge whether another individual is qualified to hold public office. So these little ridiculous, frivolous Democrat lawsuits challenging Donald Trump seem officially dead in the water. And so I guess the only option left for Democrats and neocon losers is a political pressure campaign targeting Secretary of States on a state level. And trust me when I tell you that that's pretty much the next step here that's going to happen. But even then, well, because it already is,
have reignited a debate over whether Donald Trump lawfully can be on the ballot in 2024 in their state. This dispute took off after an attorney who Trump endorsed for Senate, I should note, in 2020, urged the Secretary of State to review whether Trump is ineligible to run for office under the 14th Amendment. This, of course, bars any American official who has taken an oath to uphold the Constitution from holding future office if they later engaged in, quote, an insurrection or rebellion. The man behind this push in New Hampshire, Corky Messner, joins me now. Corky, of course, as I noted, it bears repeating, you were endorsed by Trump when you ran for the U.S. Senate, I should note, and you recently met with New Hampshire Secretary of State to urge him to seek legal guidance on this issue before the Republican primary. Why?
Well, it's an important issue, Caitlin, and I think that because we're in the first in the nation primary here, it's important that this issue get decided as soon as possible, because if it gets decided after the first in the nation primary here in New Hampshire, then the New Hampshire voters will be disenfranchised. So he's seeking guidance from the Attorney General. I think that's a good move on his part, and everyone's awaiting his decision. And then based on that decision, we'll decide how best to proceed. It's the Bod article that talks about this. It's very, very compelling that Donald Trump is in fact disqualified. And I know the Secretary of State has that article. I suspect he's read it. I suspect the Attorney General has read it. And I think it's an issue that needs to get to the United States Supreme Court just as expeditiously as possible, so we can get guidance from the court.
Former Trump-backed New Hampshire candidate tries to remove Trump from the 2024 ballot. Bryant Corky Messner was the Republican nominee for New Hampshire's U.S. Senate race in 2020. At the time, he touted his support for then-incumbent President Donald Trump. Well, he's now arguing that Trump should be removed from the ballot. A little effort was started in the state, but it seems like it's not going anywhere. New Hampshire Secretary of State backs down, not seeking to remove Trump from the ballot. New Hampshire Secretary of State David Scanlon told NBC News on Monday that he is not seeking to remove any names from the Republican primary ballot after Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk urged his supporters to call Scanlon's office following reports that Scanlon was weighing using the 14th Amendment to keep former President Trump off the ballot. Now, obviously, you'd have to be a complete lunatic Secretary of State to even attempt this, and in a relatively moderate state like New Hampshire, it's simply not happening. Well, there are some places where they might actually try to pursue this. Michigan comes to mind immediately. Just searched it up, and of course the hunch was correct. State election officials prepare for efforts to disqualify Trump under the 14th Amendment. New Hampshire, Michigan, and Arizona are now bracing for lawsuits.
Okay. So you noticed earlier he said that Democrats and neocons, for those of you who don't know, neocons are the neoconservative faction of the Republican Party who in the early 80s were Democrats that were in the middle and shifted and all joined the Republican Party. They are also considered part of the war machine because the neocons are all about peace through power and using our government, our military rather, to go abroad and fight for democracy, right? But I think because the Democrats are pushing so hard to remove Trump and now these neocons are on board, it kind of shows that this isn't a political division as far as parties, more the deep state, the controlling factor, the people, who try to control the government from behind closed doors. And they're calling on all hands on deck here, Republicans and Democrats. So that tells you a little bit about these people, right? Kind of interesting. And for those of you who are saying, well, it doesn't matter if Trump, let's say he gets found guilty and they sentence him or whatever, I would like to remind you, and you can look this up if you'd like, there was a man named Eugene V. Debs who ran for president of the United States from the inside of a federal penitentiary. And from his cell in that federal penitentiary, Eugene V. Debs got 3% of the vote. So there's no way that Trump's coming off that ballot as much as they try, as much as the deep state tried. But hey, if you want to watch the rest of this video, I'm going to have the link to it in the description below. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please think about it. Give me a subscribe. Let me know in the comments that you subscribed so I can reach back out to you. Like and share this video if you would, please. It'll help me in the algorithm immensely. But until next time, I'm Kix. Thanks for watching.